everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of the Knitty Heather podcast. My name is Heather and I'm coming to you from Kent, Washington, where I live with my husband and our Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, Pepper. This is my podcast where I chat all about my knitting projects and everything I'm up to and everything I learn along the way that I love to share with all of you. If you are a new viewer, welcome. I am so glad that you found me. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. If you would like to follow me, I am at Knitty Heather on Instagram. I always love connecting with people there. And I have linked everything I talk about, any yarn or patterns or accessories, in the description box below. Today is Wednesday, September 9th, and I have a lot to tell you about, so let's get started. Today I am wearing my Modern Beauty Cowl by Michelle Porter. This is made out of Zen Yarn Garden Serenity 20, which is 70% merino, 20% cashmere, and 10% nylon. This colorway is called Beauty and the Beast. So many bright, lovely colors. I knit this, I think, a little over a year ago, and it was one of the first projects, I think it was the first project, that I ever did any like kind of fancy fan stitches where you have to pull up loops to make kind of a flowery fan stitch. Incredibly fun to do those kinds of stitches and not as difficult as you might think. Today I am also wearing a plain vanilla sock. I knit these cuff down with about 20 rounds of 2x2 rib. I included a fish lips kiss heel. This yarn is Patton's Croy in the colorway Blue and Brown Marl. This is a really nice workhorse, earthy, crunchy yarn that lasts through anything. I really love it. I knit this pair last summer. Last week, I had the pleasure of going to one of my local yarn stores called The New Knittery in Renton, Washington. This is a wonderful store that is under new management, and they really did a lovely job kind of sprucing it up and freshening it up. It was so much fun to go there. They were so sweet. So I purchased 2 skeins of Knitted Wit, who I believe is out of Portland. This colorway is called Berry Picking. And this colorway is called Witch Please. I thought it was super cute for Halloween, kind of those candy corn, yellow, orange, and white. I'm not sure if I will make a cowl or socks out of these, but this is her Victory sock. And it feels like a lovely base. It's an 80-20 superwash merino nylon, and I think these will knit up to make something absolutely gorgeous. And I also picked up a Cascade Heritage print, and this is in the colorway Seattle Stripe, and I thought these, of course, would make lovely Seahawks socks. So this will be another future cast on, maybe for one of my family members who is also a Seahawks fan. We'll have to see and think about this one. I realize it has been a while since I've talked about any of my scrappy projects, so I thought I would tell you about one that I have not showed yet here on the podcast. This is my Bits and Bobs blanket. I'm not very far, but this is what it looks like. It is just a really fun pattern, very repetitive, very soothing. And I think it will turn out to be a good size. This is a pattern by K.F. Jones, and you hold 2 fingering weight yarns together. One solid color that goes through the whole thing and kind of evens it all out. I am using Knit Pick Stroll in the colorway Dove Heather. And then you use minis to kind of make the different color changes. So that's what makes it such a perfect scrappy project. What I did is I had a couple months of the Row 1 Yarn Carnival of Color Club, where you get 10 different 10-gram minis. They are all from a different dyer. This one is from Dye Lot Studios, and I put it in a magic knot ball. So it's all connected. I won't have any ends to weave in. And that is what I am holding together with my Dove Heather. So as you can see, it's kind of in this grayer color right now, and then it'll get into some more greens and oranges. I tried to be strategic when I put the magic knot ball together and put contrasting colors next to each other. I want each little stripe of each color change to look different. I don't really want it to fade. I want each to be distinct. So I was really strategic about making sure there weren't two colors that were very similar next to each other. Here's one more look. This was my first attempt at a magic knot ball. I'm getting a little bit better at them, but it serves its purpose. One last look at the blanket itself. As you can see, I've got many more inches to work up on this. I need to get back in participating in Kay's Scrappy Sunday, Kay the Crazy Sock Lady. But I just have so many other projects that I really can't sacrifice a whole Sunday just for scrappy projects, I don't feel like. So I work on it when I can. I'm not putting any pressure on myself or giving myself any kind of deadline. But here's what it looks like so far. This is the Bits and Bobs blanket by K.F. Jones. Now on to my FOs. I have 3 socks to tell you about this time. The first is my Desert Vista Dye Works socks for the month of August. I am participating in her year-long knit-along, the 6th annual Desert Vista Dye Works monthly sock club, where you knit a pair of socks every month out of one of her colorways. You get to choose whatever colorway you like and knit a pair of socks. So this past month I chose the colorway Gelato. I think she really captured a lot of the classic gelato colors in this colorway. I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel. I started it right at the blue, and it sort of matched perfectly where kind of the center stitches turned out yellow and it ended with this sort of butterscotchy color. I ended up doing about 15 rounds of a 2x2 rib, and I started binding off using the Simple Stretchy Bind Off, which is my preferred bind off for toe-up socks. I started it right as soon as I finished one round of the green, otherwise I wouldn't have had enough to make it all the way around, and I wanted to end it nice and cleanly on this green color. Like I said, I started toe up. I did do these 2 at a time with a wedge toe, starting with this blue color. I really love how they look. They are so bright and cheerful, a perfect summer colorway. I started the ribbing on this blue stripe as soon as I had one solid color of knitting. So there's a nice clean break for the ribbing. I'm so happy to have another pair of Desert Vista Dye Works in my sock drawer. This is Desert Vista Dye Works in the colorway Gelato. Next are my Cozy Knitter Yarn of the Month Club. This is the colorway Happy Day. I also did these 2 at a time, toe up. I do a wedge toe for these. As you can see, I kind of split this orange stripe to put in my Fish Lips Kiss heel, which is my favorite kind of heel, especially for this yarn. I just feel like it works really nicely and looks good. Worked up a little bit more. I finished the first solid round of blue from the main color, and then I attached the blue mini. She did include a blue mini for toes, heels, and cuffs. And I did, again, I think maybe like 12 to 15 rounds of ribbing on these. Another super bright and cheerful pair of socks. I think these will go really well in my sock wardrobe. This was the Cozy Knitter in the colorway Happy Day. Last up is my Yarnable yarn from Hypnotic Yarn. This is the colorway Beach Ball, and just look at how bright she gets these colors. I don't know how she does such a nice job getting such vibrant, saturated colors. I did a little bit of a different pattern on this one. I did Star-Toed Fleagle by Stacy Perry, and you start with a little star toe. You can kind of see little star points coming out, pretty much like the top of a hat. And then she has you do a Fleagle heel. This Fleegle heel is super interesting. This is the third time I've done a Fleegle heel, and this time I finally feel like I got the right length for the foot. The thing about the Fleegle heel is it starts right at the back of the heel. It doesn't curve around as much like a traditional heel flap. And because of that, you end up with a longer gusset. So you don't need as many rounds of your foot as you might think. The first two pairs using this method for the heel, they turned out just fine, but definitely the foot was a little longer than I needed. So I think I got the correct amount of rows this time. And again, I ended, I think, with exactly 10 rounds of 2x2 rib with this one, and used the simple stretchy bind off. This is Beach Ball by Hypnotic Yarn. Now on to my works in progress. I have 5 pairs of socks and 2 mystery knit-alongs to tell you about today. This month I decided to do my socks on different kinds of needles, just for the heck of it and to add some variety to my knitting. My first pair of socks is my Desert Vista Dye Works, and I am using 9-inch circulars from ChiaoGoo, their red lace. I have a cute little Peppermint Progress Keeper from the February Yarnable box, and this colorway is called Candyland. Here it is all caked up. And then here is her mini that matches the logo that's on the box and the board perfectly. This is also my first time using her sparkle base, which is 75% merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. I started toe up with the pink and white mini, and I am working through all the pretty colors of the board. I have my heel marked for my afterthought heel, which I will also do in this mini color. And then I will work up, I think, a couple more pattern repeats. I kind of want to end on the pink and bind off as soon as I have a full round of that using my simple stretchy bind off, because the pink is the first color on the board and then it ends with purple. So I'm kind of going down the colors from the top of the sock. I just thought that would make it look really nice. I chose this colorway in honor of my preschoolers. For those of you who don't know, I am a preschool teacher and we haven't quite started back up yet. We're hoping to as soon as possible, but I thought my kids would love these bright color socks, and they always love when we put the Candyland game out for them to play. I have it in this cute little donut bag from Jenny of Mountain State Stitches, which I thought worked perfectly for the theme. So I do have a little bit more work to do on this. I need to finish this sock and then cast on the next one, but I am starting to work up the leg. I just need to go back and do the afterthought heel. This is Desert Vista Dye Works in the colorway Candyland. Next up are my Cozy Knitter socks from her Yarn of the Month Club. This is the colorway Rhinebeck. Here they are in the cake. I'm doing these 2 at a time, toe up magic loop, and then she included this really pretty kind of gold mini, which I used for the toe. I've got a beautiful little Matryoshka doll progress keeper, and I think I got that from an order I placed with Amber's Yarn Shop on Etsy. For those of you who don't know, Rhinebeck is also known as the New York Sheep and Wool Festival in Rhinebeck, New York, and it usually happens every October. I don't believe it's going to take place this year, but I have dreams about going there someday in the future. Everything I've seen and heard about it makes it sound so incredible. So I think she did a really nice job kind of capturing some of these lovely fall colors. I'm almost through one color repeat. The color that I'm actually working through right now is a little bit of a more muted yellow, and then it will go back up to this kind of gold. Really fun. And they're actually sort of similar colors to my Candyland, just a little more earthy and muted. So this will be another nice addition to my sock collection. Again, this is the Cozy Knitter in Rhinebeck. I will continue knitting up the foot with this and use a fish lips kiss heel with her mini. And I will use the mini. I do like to use the mini for the cuffs on her socks as well. So have a lot more to do on this guy, but we'll keep working on these and hopefully have them done by the end of the month. Again, this is Rhinebeck by the Cozy Knitter. I have them in this cute little bumblebee project bag from MLD Threads on Etsy. I really like this shape for 2 at a time socks because you can put both balls of yarn kind of right next to each other. Next up is my Yarnable socks for the month. I have it in this pretty simple little bag from Sandy of By the Lakeside. Kind of got some blue polka dots and then some really pretty gingham on the inside. This is another really cute colorway name. This is called Don't Be Ridicchio. And it's got a lot of pretty fall tans and browns and plums. Here is what I'm doing. This is called Morning Coffee Socks by Kay Litton, who is also known as the Crazy Sock Lady. It is a cuff down pattern. I'm using this pretty little coffee mug, of course, from Simply Serving as my progress keeper. And as you can see on these, I decided to use some double pointed needles. I hadn't used DPNs for a long time, and this is the first time that I've used all 5 needles. I've got the stitches on 4, and then I've got a 5th one in my bag that I actually work off of. These are my Knitter's Pride Royale double pointed needles. It's just a nice textured knit and purl pattern, and I think it will look really nice with this yarn. I did 20 rounds of a 1x1 twisted rib where you do knit 1 through the back loop and then a purl, which kind of gives it a nice little texture. A little bit of a different look. And I will keep going down the leg. And I think she has you do a traditional heel flap and gusset on these. And I'm really enjoying how these are knitting up. I think these will be absolutely beautiful. Another very appropriate pair for the fall. And I can't wait to continue on with this one and get the second one cast on. Once again, this is called Don't Be Ridicchio by Hypnotic Yarn from their Yarnable subscription box. As I mentioned a couple podcasts ago, I was going through my stash and I wanted to knit up some really pretty socks for the fall and Halloween. Now, my regular monthly socks have taken priority, but I've been trying to give my Halloween fall socks a little bit of love, and I have made some progress. My first pair is from Dragon Horde Yarn in her Pumpkin King colorway. I have the first sock done. These are the Vanilla Latte socks by Virginia Rose Johns. And I am working on my second one. This little Ghost Cookie Progress Keeper is from Sweet Cherry on Etsy. I finished the leg and I did the heel flap. I chose to do an Eye of Partridge heel flap on this one. And I just finished the heel turn. So now I need to begin the gusset decreases and then work down the foot. This is such a pretty yarn. I really love how it's knitting up. I have it in this cute little bag from the Scrappy Thread. And I'm hoping to get this done as soon as possible. I do think I ended up doing about an extra half a round. When knitting on Magic Loop, I preferred to have my beginning of the round be between the instep and the heel instead of in the back of the heel. That just makes more sense in my head. I also set it up so that I am decreasing and working the stitch pattern on the same round. And then I get a rest round of just plain knitting, and that just kind of helps make more sense for me as well. This colorway is called Pumpkin King by Dragon Horde Yarn. I am using my Knitter's Pride Nova Platina needles and doing this magic loop. My last fall Halloween sock is from Scrumptious Pearl. This is the colorway Hocus Pocus, and she included an orange mini. I also have the first sock done on this one. I started toe up. I did a wedge shaped toe, a fish lips kiss heel, and then 10 rounds of ribbing after I completed 1 round of orange from the main color stripe. I added the mini to complete the rest of the cuff. I really love this colorway. How pretty is that? Did you grow up watching Hocus Pocus? I love that movie with Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy Najimy. Such a Halloween classic. And here is my progress on the second one. I have it in my special grease project bag from Fate's Thread. And I also have a little needle cozy made out of that same fabric. As you can see, I did just finish the heel on this one, the Fish Lips Kiss heel. This Halloween cookie progress keeper is from Sweet Cherry on Etsy. I am also using my Knitter's Pride Nova Platina needles on this one. I just need to keep working up to that same orange stripe and then start the cuff. So I'm well on my way, just sailing up the leg on this one, and I really can't wait to have this off the needles as well. Again, this is Hocus Pocus from Scrumptious Pearl. Those were my sock whips, and now I have 2 mystery knit-alongs to tell you about. The first I started earlier in August, and it is the Sharon Show by Casapinka, as well as her cat Sharon from Security. And I just am about to finish Clue 5, but I will put in some footage here about how it looked after Clue 4. I really love the colorways I chose. I did do some stash diving for this one and just picked some yarns from my stash that I thought went really well together, and I am super happy with how it turned out. I love projects like this where there is always something new going on, different sections with different textures. You get a chance to learn different stitches and new techniques. I absolutely love how this is turning out. Once I finish Clue 5, I believe there is just one more clue and we will be done. I can't wait to see what it's going to end up turning out like once complete. The Sharon Show by Casapinka. I've absolutely been loving seeing everybody's different color choices and how theirs are turning out on Instagram. Super fun. So going down the rabbit hole that is Instagram, I just got too tempted to not start a second mystery knit along. This one is the Garden Variety mystery knit along, or the Garden Variety shawl or wrap by Lisa K. Ross. This is going to be another rectangular shape wrap, and I absolutely am loving it so far. I am just starting Clue 2, but I will insert some footage here about what it looked like at the end of Clue 1. I am really in love with the yarn I chose for this wrap. I purchased a kit from Lauren of Lolo Did It. Here is my main color. It is called Royal. And then all my other colors are in minis. So this shawl requires 2 skeins of a main color and then 7 different minis. Here are my minis. This is called Shaboom. This is called Elba Island. This is called Morianne. This is called Big Girls Don't Cry. This is called Beauty School Dropout. This is called Violet Beauregard. And my last mini is Wonka. This kit was called the Cool Jewels kit from Lolo Did It, and I couldn't be happier with how these are coming together. Once again, this shawl is so much fun to see what's happening in each section with different stitches, practicing different techniques, and this one especially has some pretty interesting construction, so I'm excited to see what it's going to look like. This is the Garden Variety Mystery Knit Along. It just started. If you want to join, please join in. It's also been so much fun to see what everybody's been doing with this, seeing the different color combinations. I am following this hashtag as well, and it's been incredible to see so many different ideas and color combinations that people have been coming up with. The Garden Variety Mystery Knit Along by Lisa K. Ross. Well, I think that's about all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me and spending a little time with me. I really, truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Please consider subscribing and giving this video a like. That would really help me out. As always, if there is anything that you would like to see on this podcast or any questions you have for me, please leave a comment down below, or you can message me on Instagram. I am at Knitty Heather. Thanks again for joining me, and until next time, be well, be kind, and happy knitting. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.